The release of the last report, which is likely to implicate the president, is that not a sword on the neck of the president that he must appoint you, or if he doesn't appoint you, the report is likely to go a different way? Because there are two parts of the reports which were released. Why was the president's side not included in the reports which were released before this interview? Because we're human beings and we're politicians and we're political animals. If you have a report on me and you don't release it, and I've got certain obligations towards you, I might be tempted to do the right by you, otherwise I'll be dealt with wrongly. So how will you respond to this, that this serves as a sword on the neck of the president, because if he doesn't do the right thing, the report is likely to go differently?
Well, interestingly, I never thought about that angle, Commissioner Malema. But I think the reason why I never thought about it is because of how it came about that we decided that the report would be in 3 parts. And how it came about was that for a number of months before the end of last year, we were working flat out to complete the whole report by end of December, because the order of the court that had granted us an extension had given us up to the 31st of December. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to finish the work of this commission. I mean, for 4 years, I've been doing this, the work of this commission. I haven't had much time to rest. I haven't had much time for my family over the 4 years. There are times when I've worked right around the clock without sleeping to try and push the work of the commission. If there's one thing I would like behind me, is to finish the work of the commission. So towards the end of last year, I was pushing everybody, saying we must finish. So when I realized that we were not going to be able to finish the whole report, we looked at what portions of the report would be ready by end of December to release. And those happened to be the ones that were in part 1. And the ones that are in part 2 were those that were closer to being ready. So there was no conscious decision to say, oh no, that part must come later because of what. It was simply which parts were closer to being ready by a certain time in December, and saying there is no way we can face the nation and say we want an extension but we are not submitting anything. Let us submit something at least. That was the idea.
The same precedent that you have to decide upon is the person who may be appointing you if you were to be appointed as the Chief Justice. The other thing that comes into play is the fact that the report is not finished as yet. What can you say to this?
Well, Commissioner Schlemmer, the truth is that in the work of the Commission, the President gave evidence, and like every witness, his evidence will have to be weighed up, assessed. I haven't gone to that, to dealing with most of his evidence, and I will have to make findings. But as I said earlier on, with this job, you have got to do the job, make the findings you make, accept that you may make enemies, but also accept that you may make findings against anybody, including the President. So if there is enough evidence that justifies a finding against the President, that finding will be made. But no finding will be made against the President if there is no evidence that justifies it. Just as with regard to former President Zuma, where I've made any finding against him, I've done so because there is evidence. But where there's no evidence, I will not make any finding against President Zuma when there is no evidence. I will not make any finding against anybody when there's no evidence, but I will make a finding against anybody if the evidence justifies it.
So
And if I must suffer any consequences for that, it's fine.
What are your thoughts? Did you like or hate what you heard? Let us know in the comments below. And please feel free to leave your suggestions, news tips, or topics about Africa you'd like us to cover. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and keep tuned in for more content on Africa.